About 10 years ago, I was 23, fueled by nothing but caffeine, a laptop, and a terrifyingly ambitious idea. I poured every cent I had, every ounce of sleep I could spare, and a decade of my life into building my tech startup from the ground up. It wasn't just a business to me. It was my blood, sweat, and tears materialized into a thriving, successful enterprise. I was incredibly proud of what I'd built from absolute scratch.
I thought I was secure. I was wrong. Then came Sarah. My younger sister has always been the golden child. Growing up, she could do no wrong, and my parents treated her like an academic deity, constantly doting on her and showering her with praise. When she graduated from a prestigious business school, the hype reached a fever pitch. Almost immediately, my parents started pushing for her to join my company, relentlessly lecturing me on how she possessed the modern business acumen needed to take my life's work to new heights. At first, I welcomed her involvement. I figured it'd be nice to have family around, and honestly, she brought some genuinely innovative ideas to the table. But the honeymoon phase didn't last long. Sarah didn't want to collaborate. She wanted to rule. She began bypassing me entirely, making major executive decisions without so much as a casual heads up. She was charming, deeply persuasive, and possessed a talent for corporate politics. Before I fully grasped what was happening, she had subtly won over the key members of my leadership team, positioning herself as the company's true visionary while fading me into the background. The trap finally sprang during a Sunday family dinner. Over a casual meal, my parents nonchalantly announced their grand plan to transition the leadership of the company entirely to Sarah. "We just feel she's better suited to lead it into the future," my mother said, smiling warmly at her. I sat there, completely stunned. My company. The one I had bled for while Sarah was still writing case studies. They were talking about handing over the keys to my life's work, as if it were a hand-me-down sweater. I tried to reason with them, pointing out the sheer absurdity of pushing out the founder. But I was met with a united front of patronizing smiles. They were adamant. They wanted me to step aside gracefully for the future of the business. Hurt and deeply betrayed, I stared at my family and realized bargaining was useless. But I also knew I wasn't going to let them rob me. I knew the company inside and out, including every single one of its operational vulnerabilities. If they wanted to play corporate chess, I was going to show them how a real founder moves. Quietly, under the radar, I incorporated a brand new entity. Over the next few weeks, I didn't sleep. I quietly approached our most valuable clients, laying out the situation with absolute transparency. They didn't trust a fresh-faced MBA. They trusted me. One by one, they agreed to port their contracts over to my new venture the moment I gave the word. Next came the talent. I went to my top engineers and key operators, the actual backbone of the company, not the fair-weather managers Sarah had charmed. When I told them I was leaving and offered them positions at the new firm with better equity, they didn't even hesitate. The day of reckoning arrived while Sarah and my parents were huddled in the main conference room, joyfully planning their grand takeover strategy. I walked in, dropped my formal resignation on the glass table, and smiled. "I'm out," I said calmly. They looked confused, then smug, assuming I was throwing a tantrum and conceding defeat. "And just so we're entirely transparent," I continued, leaning against the doorframe, "I've started a new company. As of 9 o'clock this morning, our top clients have terminated their agreements here and signed with me. Oh, and the core development team just submitted their 2 weeks' notice. They're coming with me too."
The color drained from Sarah's face. My parents erupted into a flurry of shocked, furious screaming, but the match was already over. The groundwork had been laid perfectly. There wasn't a single legal or operational leg for them to stand on. My new company didn't just survive, it flourished. Freed from the dead weight and family politics, we scaled faster than I ever thought possible. I've never looked back.
As for my old company, it crumbled. Without the core talent to execute the work and the key clients providing revenue, Sarah's brilliant business acumen amounted to presiding over a rapidly sinking ship. My family's betrayal backfired spectacularly, and they learned the hard way that you can't just inherit grit.